Hello, guys, and welcome back to this channel. I'm your host, Eddie Kanobut, and this is Azaka News. We'll bring you good news of things happening in our country, Nigeria. So, today on Azaka News, we're going to be looking at Nord Motors and the deal they signed with the University of Lagos State, Unilag. So, sometime in July this year, Nord Motors, which is an indigenous automobile company, meaning that it is is a Nigerian owned vehicle manufacturing company. Okay, they are not an assembly plant, and they are not foreign owned. Okay, just like say Nord is an indigenous automobile company in Nigeria that makes manufactures its own vehicles. So Nord Motors recently in July signed a memorandum of understanding with the Lagos State government, but particularly the Lagos State University, to establish an automobile assembly and manufacturing hub in the institution. This is a bold step in the right direction, and it is positioned to further intensify the university's quest to keep equipping students with all the necessary skills that they will need before graduation. As we all know, the reason why the Nigerian education system, has not been at its best is because of lack of proper integration of practical sectors in teaching. The reason why things are the way they are is because we don't really have a lot of factories that collaborate with the universities in order to train and equip students. Imagine studying engineering, finishing from any of the departments in the faculty of engineering, and you've never been to a factory. Particularly those studying mechanical engineering, you've never been to a factory to actually try out your hands, and your IT days are limited to but a few months. So you may even graduate and leave that department of engineering and not really know the basics about the automobile industry. So it is a very is a very good one. In fact, in many countries abroad, what usually happens is that when you go to school for, let's say, 3 or 4 years, you majorly study theory, and then you would graduate, but then you will not be licensed. I'm talking about those people who read engineering. You will be licensed. You have to go and work in a factory for for some countries a minimum of 5 years, for some 3 years or 4 years. So let's say I am reading, for example, now automobile engineering. I'm going to go to school. I'll learn the theory for 2, 3 years or 4 years, and I'll get a BSc. I'll then go to a factory compulsorily and attach myself there for another 2, 3 years. That is when I will now be given I'm not an engineering student, so maybe I think maybe a certificate or a license or a title as an engineer. But the thing is that they are trying to marry with this thing, they're trying to marry the theoretical aspect with the practical aspect of what we are all learning. So this has been missing, is still missing in the educational structure found in this part of the world, in Africa. And so the only part of um, our educational sector that seeks to actually bridge this gap between theory and practical is the medical sector. So every medical practitioner or every medical student, or even those studying pharmacy, they will have their years in where they learn a lot of theory in their preclinical years, and at some point they will then move over, specifically for the medical student, they will then move over to the hospital where they will go and learn, where they will just be around the hospital environment, learning, the theory and the practical aspect for the next 3 years of their stay in school. So you have from the first year to the third year, 80%, 90% theory. But then from the fourth year to the sixth year will be like 50% theory and practical. This, is why the medical journey in Africa is quite long, and why it is one of the, well, I say, most sustainable option. Because when somebody leaves medical school, the person has an idea of what he or she needs to do, the base of what he or she needs to do. But when somebody finishes from engineering, most times they don't have the basics of what they need to do because they never had a proper attachment in a factory, in a company. So this is a huge one. Okay, this is a very important step in the right direction by Nord Motors, and we are really desiring that maybe other big companies can equally have assembly plants, no matter how small, located within the campuses itself, so that the respective courses that students are actually undergoing or under learning, they would have a way to have a feel of what they're actually learning. A lot of factories should be cited on site in the campus to aid and to help learning. So Nord Motors, this is the first time any university is bringing an automobile company into a campus in Africa. This is the first time, and look at how long it has taken us. But the point now is not the length of time. The point is that we have even conceived this idea and we are actually bringing it into reality. So this is a good one. What this means for us is that the non-motors will start assembling cars inside the University of Lagos, and the students will get to see these things firsthand and experience and touch and support when necessary. And many of them may go on to become, world-renowned engineers and maybe automobile engineers. So we are hoping that other factories can build even if small plants or small plants or small factory sites on campus that can really help the students and equally help the lecturers. So now lecturers in Unilag can teach with confidence, knowing that when they mention certain equipment, the students can find them with ease by just walking down to the factory to understudy, to watch, to observe and learn. You can even maybe during your semester break or um, the break after a session, you can even spend your holiday in the factory learning instead of going back home to go and eat food, learning the basics that you need to do, try to pursue, or chase your passion. So that I will not overstretch this topic, we are very glad and we are very happy for what Nord Motors is doing, and we hope that the impact of this of the setting of this factory will be felt, you know, we felt with the immediate graduates that are about to be poured out from the university, particularly the Faculty of Engineering. So this is going to end today's video. Thank you for staying up to this point. Please like, share, subscribe, and till we see you again, remain blessed.